If you're watching here on YouTube, make sure you go ahead, click that subscribe, that like, that notification bell. Make sure you're kept aware anytime we drop new content on the channel. If you want the audio-only version of the podcast, open up your audio podcast platform, hit the search bar, type in The Format Podcast, and we should come right up. If you enjoy the content as you listen, make sure you give us a like, a 5-star review, and drop a comment. All that stuff helps us rise in the algorithm, helps us find more sports fans, helps more sports fans find us. And write it down, put it in your phones, make a note of it. The Format Podcast is live Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern. And finally, if you're really and truly enjoying the podcast and you want to help the show continue to grow, make sure you go ahead, click that join button, join the channel. We're going to have some exclusive content just for you. My bad, my bad. Is everybody good now? Everybody good? I apologize. Man, that's a rough one. But you should be able to hear me now. I appreciate it. Thanks for the heads up, Edward. Thank you. Thank you. Basically was just saying, the normal opening spiel. You know what time it is. Just excited to bring the show to you tonight, have some good content, some good topics. I was also saying that for those of you who haven't already, make sure you hit the like and subscribe on YouTube. And also, if it's something you feel like doing, join the channel. Got some good, a couple of good members only episodes I've produced already, and working on something else special coming out. So can't wait to deliver that to you guys. Very excited about it. So yeah, we'll go from there. But you know what? Let's go ahead. We're already about 5 minutes in. Let's go ahead and get it started. So, and this was actually inspired by my main man, Bruce, who just called, right? So, obviously we saw Jalen Hurts, starting quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles, a guy who, 2 years ago, he probably would have won the MVP if he didn't get nicked up and missed a couple of games. This is another guy also who we know won a national championship at the University of Alabama and a couple of SEC titles at Alabama before moving on and going to Oklahoma and being a Heisman runner-up with Lincoln Riley, right? Lincoln Riley knows quarterbacks. He definitely does. So you had that. So he's a Heisman runner-up. He gets drafted second round. People are thinking, oh, you're crazy. You got Carson Wentz. You just paid him $100 million. Why would you draft Jalen Hurts? Exactly, easy goer. Exactly, because Jalen Hurts is a winner. He is a hard worker, whether it's in the weight room or the film room or in the practice field, and he is a winner. You never hear any drama with this dude off the field. That's what I love. He's humble. He always says the right thing. I love that too. No drama with this dude. All he wants to do is go out there, perform, and win. He's played in 2 Super Bowls, both against the Chiefs, and he has outplayed Patrick Mahomes in both situations. Now, don't get me wrong. They've done a great job of putting talent around him, but the guy is absolutely legitimate. Then you have, on the flip side of this particular topic, a guy that I mentioned a few times in the last topic, that is Lamar Jackson, a 2-time National Football League MVP, one of which was unanimously, probably. I think it's fair to say he may be the greatest athlete and arguably the most talented player we've ever seen at the quarterback position. I think we can. I'm trying to run through names real quick in my head. He's right up there. If he's not the most talented or the greatest athlete, he's right up there at the quarterback position. He's phenomenal. He is, I guess he's the next generation, the Michael Vick 2.0. He is the modern day version of Randall Cunningham, elite arm talent, as well as elite speed, mobility, ability to read defenses from the pocket. And this is the thing that we love, right? So I'm gonna just talk about this briefly because I'm not a guy that's hung up on this, but it has to be said when you're talking about Lamar because it's part of the story. So obviously, when he got drafted, he was a Heisman Trophy winner out of Louisville. I think he got drafted, I want to say 30th to the Baltimore Ravens in the first round, 30th overall, 30th, yeah. And so this is a guy who a lot of people, Mike Vick, no better athlete at quarterback in the NFL. I don't know about that. But anyway, regardless, Lamar Jackson was a guy that we heard Bill Polian say that he should have worked out at wide receiver and converted. Everybody wanted to, because they know how much elite speed he has. Everybody wanted to see him run the 40. Some people I'm sure wanted to convert him to defensive back, etc. But he was like, I'm not running. I'm a quarterback. This is what I'm going to do, right? For instance, that actually goes back as far as when he got to Louisville. Obviously, he got recruited to play quarterback. He got to Louisville, and they were trying to have him, I think, return kicks at one point because I guess they saw how devastatingly fast he was. And his mom basically told the coach, that's not what you recruited my son to play. That's not what he's here for. He's not returning kicks. He's a quarterback. And, Mom, you definitely did a great job there because you have one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever do it at this point. And so obviously we have seen Lamar Jackson go on to do absolutely amazing things, set numerous records along the way. What you love about Lamar Jackson, kind of like Jalen Hurts, is that these are guys that no one thought would be elite quarterbacks in the modern game, right? But both of these guys, they had their weaknesses or their issues or whatever coming into the league. But both of these guys, no static, no drama, put their heads down, come in and just do the work. They just do the work, right? And me, and Bruce knows this about me, I love the guys that just don't talk a lot. They're humble. Now, is it cool sometimes to hear great players talk trash? Yeah, it's funny, right? But the guys that don't talk a lot, they're humble, just come in, do the work, and continue to be better and better and better. And you have seen how Lamar Jackson has just become, again, arguably the greatest weapon ever at the position, right? We know, like this guy, he ran for over 900 rushing yards this year, and a lot of times it's so scary. Lamar Jackson doesn't even look like he's trying hard when he's out there running. Like he's like, okay, let me just pick up these yards or whatever. But it doesn't look like he's even trying hard, but he's got over 900 yards rushing, and he has the record himself. I think it's more than 1,100 yards rushing in a season, which is a single season quarterback record, right? So, he's got that. So then you look at it and you say, not only is he elite with his legs, but now you say, okay, this dude has turned himself into an elite pocket passer who can slice and dice you. And he doesn't even necessarily have, he's got good weapons, but he doesn't have elite weapons on the outside, right? But this is a guy now, the first ever in history to have more than 4,000 passing yards and less than 5 interceptions in the same season. Like that is crazy. It doesn't even make sense, like how efficient this guy was and how well he protected the football, right? So what's the problem with Lamar Jackson? He's 2-time league MVP. He's got, I think he leads the league, or he's second in the league in quarterback wins since he came into the league. It's either him or Patrick Mahomes, one of the two. But he's top 2 in quarterback wins since he entered the league. He's setting record after record. Every year he's setting a record for something else. One of them this year was he now leads all time in quarterback rushing yards. Again, I mentioned he's the only quarterback ever with more than 4,000 passing yards and 40 passing touchdowns, less than 5 interceptions. Like, let that sink in how crazy that is, right? Now, I'm Steve. I'm getting to it. Chill. I got this. So I'm getting to it, Steve. I got you. Trust me. So the point is, when you now look at what Lamar has been able to do, it's absolutely phenomenal. But again, I will always reference it. If you watch this show, even though I'm a Ravens fan, the big issue for me now becomes what? Where is the postseason success for Lamar Jackson? Where is the postseason success? His numbers drop precipitously in the postseason. He simply does not play as well on that level. And where the great ones are measured, where the great ones make their legend is where? In the postseason, right? And I think that's where we really start getting into the problems with Lamar Jackson, because we know how great he is. We know what type of ability he has. We see what he's worked himself into. He's been, I think he's 2-time first team All-Pro now, 2 or 3-time first team All-Pro. So we know how good the guy is. But when it counts most, if we have to be fair, he hasn't shown up the way he should. Right. So Easy Gore says, I'm a white person and some of the Lamar hate, quote unquote, stems from his looks and how he talks. Sorry for the truth. There's some truth to that. But now, Lamar Jackson, I've talked ad nauseum about how special he is. I've also been fair and talked about why he gets a lot of the pressure that he gets as a football player. But now let's flip it to the other side. Jalen Hurts. No one is going to tell you Jalen Hurts is as good as Lamar Jackson. No one's going to tell you Jalen Hurts is better than Lamar Jackson. But guess what? Jalen Hurts has already been to 2 Super Bowls, and he's won one. And both times he's outplayed the guy that many think is in the GOAT discussion. Both times he's outplayed the guy that most feel is without question the best quarterback in the game. He's done that twice now, right? Now, have the Eagles really done a great job of building an outstanding defense? Yes, but Lamar's had that too. Have the Eagles done a great job of building an outstanding running game? Yes, but Lamar's had that too, right? The Eagles had Saquon Barkley, 2,005 rushing yards this season, first team All-Pro. Baltimore and Lamar Jackson had Derrick Henry, second team All-Pro, I think 1,950 plus rushing yards this season. So right behind Saquon. So it's not like a huge drop off. I think, if I'm not mistaken, this season, Baltimore led the league in Pro Bowlers with 8, right? And I think they had like 5 or 6 All-Pros. So it's not like Baltimore has not done a great job putting talent all around Lamar Jackson. Now, I will admit they haven't put elite receiver talent around Lamar Jackson. That's something they could do. I don't know why they didn't make a bigger push for Devontae Adams. That's the move I would have tried to make. I think that could have helped a lot. But, you know, hey, what do we say? Zay Flowers, second year, man. Well, he's going into his third year now. Out of Boston College, he made his first Pro Bowl this year, right? And a big part of that is Lamar Jackson. So, but anyway, you look at Jalen Hurts and you say, okay, this is a guy who he is now Super Bowl MVP, which I'm sure is the trophy that Lamar Jackson wants more than anything, right? I really don't think he's too concerned about any more regular season MVPs. Those are nice, but he wants the Super Bowl MVP. Why? Because he's a team guy and because he knows that you can only get that if you win the big one. And that's all he cares about, is winning the big one, being a winner and going down, you know, as one of the greatest and being there and playing at that high level he's capable of for his team. And you love that about Lamar because you can see how much it hurts when he doesn't get the job done, right? Now, all that said, here comes the question, right? Bruce said a couple of weeks ago when he called in, he said, you're going to see if Jalen Hurts wins the championship. Obviously, this was prior to the Super Bowl. He said, you're going to see if Jalen Hurts wins the championship, it's going to be Lamar pitted against Jalen Hurts. So I said, you know what? I'm going to take that topic and I'm going to do it. And I don't know that I'm necessarily pitting one against the other. But now the question becomes, because both teams are relatively equally talented, right? If you could have Jalen Hurts or Lamar Jackson, if you're Baltimore, would you keep Lamar or would you take Jalen Hurts? Jalen Hurts is a winner, right? All things relatively equal, what would you do? Jalen Hurts seems to step up his game in the postseason, while Lamar, as great as he is, doesn't do that, right? Laker Nation says it's easy to make those throws with a big lead. Okay, fair enough, Laker Nation. And we can say that looking back at this Super Bowl. But what about the Super Bowl 2 years ago, where once again, he clearly outplayed Pat Mahomes, right? Now, I will be objective. He had the big turnover that cost him the game. I think it was a fumble, right? He had the big late game turnover that cost him the game. But on the whole, he did outplay Pat Mahomes. So, like, they didn't have the big lead then to make those throws. And realistically, those throws were tight window throws that Jalen Hurts was making in this Super Bowl, right? It's not like he was throwing the guys running free. Like, the coverage was there, but he was delivering the ball. So that's kind of how I see that. And look, man, I'm not trying to disrespect either one. And obviously, as a Raven fan, I love Baltimore. But let's just take a look, as we brought it up, at some of those Heisman runner-up. Like, he's got it all. Like, he's used to these big game environments. Not saying Lamar is not, but let's see. As great as Philly D played, Jalen played really well. I think so. You're right. If Pat Mahomes had Jalen's performance, everyone would be twerking it up. No, you're right. Because the argument, and we'll get to it in the next topic, the argument was this whole if Mahomes plays well and gets that three-peat, is he now going to be the GOAT? Is the GOAT discussion a lot closer? Blah, blah, blah. Is the GOAT, him and Tom Brady? And it's been that way for a few years because don't get me wrong, Pat Mahomes is incredibly great. But anyway, we'll get to that. But the point is here, you have Jalen Hurts and Lamar Jackson, and these guys, I think, are both elite in their own ways. But at the end of the day, I think somebody put it, I don't know if it was Easy Go or put it in the comments earlier. At the end of the day, if we keeping it a buck, right? And that's what we try to do here on the Format Podcast. Jalen Hurts is just a winner, man. He's just a winner. That is what this dude does. And the scary thing about Philly, right? Even though, and let me give Bruce a shout out for this, the path to the Super Bowl in the NFC is a lot easier than it is in the AFC, right? As we always say, the AFC is an absolute gauntlet. The NFC, not so much, right? Not saying that there's not good teams over there, but it's not like going through the AFC. Philly defense kept Mahomes out of it. They played exceptional. Absolutely. You could argue Jalen had a better Super Bowl performance than Mahomes ever has. Yeah, you probably could argue that. But see, the difference is, Steve, when it comes to Mahomes is a guy who, if it's close, coming down to it, Mahomes is going to make the play to beat you. So he may not have the gaudiest Super Bowl numbers. His Super Bowl numbers are not great, but he is the guy that's going to make the plays to beat you. But then, so we saw what Jalen Hurts does, but now we can and that's the one thing that's got to get fixed, man, because once he gets out of his own way in the playoffs and protects the football, I don't know that there's going to be anything you can do with him. But that needs to happen. So now the point is that you will hear, and I'm surprised you haven't really heard it much yet from the mainstream sports media. You will hear this Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson thing, because the question is going to continue to be, okay, Lamar Jackson is one of the greatest regular season quarterbacks of all time, but where's the postseason winning? And that's going to be the problem. All right. Definitely less pressure on Jalen, the way the defense was playing for sure, but the kid still made throws he was asked to make. Basically, that's true. Yeah, you could tell, and you could see Spagnuolo said, listen, I don't care who else beats me. It's not going to be Saquon. 25 carries for 57 yards in the Super Bowl. That was his thing, right? Everything builds off of what Saquon does, whether it's the play action, whether it's the RPO, everything is off of what Saquon does. We are going to shut him down and we'll have a very good chance to win this game. And they shut him down, and Jalen Hurts said, hold my beer. I got it. You know what I'm saying? Edward, what's good? What's the question you got, man? What's the question you got? And in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open the phone lines up, y'all. And let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about this Jalen Hurts versus Lamar Jackson. Is there a Jalen Hurts versus Lamar Jackson? Is it just, all right, you know what? I don't normally like to take it here, but is it just because they're two black quarterbacks who've had a high level of success? Is that why they may be getting pitted against one another? Or is it just that we're looking at Lamar Jackson and saying, this guy is so elite, when's he going to get it done? Meanwhile, Jalen Hurts, a guy who most people would say does not have, 2/3 of the talent that Lamar Jackson has now been to the Super Bowl twice, but he hasn't won it yet. I would love to hear you guys' thoughts on Jalen Hurts and Lamar Jackson. In the meantime, while I wait for any calls, my question is, when it comes to the GOAT debate for QBs, why does nobody bring up Joe Montana in the debate? He's undefeated in the Super Bowl. Interesting. Laker Nation, what's good, man?
Hey, I'm just calling because you didn't invite me on the show. You knew you was going to be out here solo.
I didn't know I was going to be out here solo, man. I thought Transformer was going to pop in a little late, but I just ended up running.
That explains.
Yeah,
you got to have some pushback on here, man. Your viewers want to see a debate, man.
Well, sometimes I don't mind rolling for Dolo, man. I like to just come on here and spit a little bit too. Don't always have to be a debate.
Come on, man.
It don't always have to be that.
Yeah, we men, man. We got to spice up the show.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what my call going to do to spice up the show.
All right, what you got?
Oh, my GOAT is Joe Montana.
Mm-hmm. Of course it is.
I didn't create this GOAT debate. That was everybody else because Mahomes was playing.
Mm-hmm.
I never created no GOAT debate. Joe Montana to me is the greatest quarterback ever.
No, I think it's Brady, but that's me.
Of course you would.
Well, I'm not a New England fan. I'm not a Bucks fan. What do you mean? Of course I would.
Yeah, of course you would. Joe, I can debate you all day on that.
I mean, you could, but I don't think it's gonna.
Fucking Joe was playing with killers.
I mean,
I ain't saying Tom Brady didn't get hit, but come on now, he didn't take none of the hits that Joe Montana did.
No doubt. But Joe Montana also had, Roger Craig and freaking what's my man name?
Brady had Grubb.
But okay, he had Jerry Rice.
Obviously the greatest tight end ever. I ain't never seen nobody go out wide and get triple team.
But he didn't have Gronk the whole time though. He didn't have Gronk his whole career. All
right. Who else do we have besides Gronk?
So think about this, right? He had Randy Moss, but he never won a chip with Randy Moss.
I ain't counting Randy Moss.
Exactly my point. He was winning titles with Deion Branch and Wes Welker and Julian Edelman. Like, real talk. Think about this now. He didn't have the weapons Joe Montana had. Now, granted, he did not play in the physical era that Joe Montana did, right? But if we're fair, they both played in crappy divisions pretty much their whole career, right? They both played in bad divisions, so they both had the benefit of that. Now, with that said, once the playoffs rolled around, they had to do what they had to do to get through the playoffs and to win championships. So I will never completely denigrate the fact that they played in bad divisions because they had to do what they had to do.
So you telling me, let's take Lamar Jackson out the equation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's just say you need an emergency quarterback to win you one game before Lamar gets back to the Super Bowl, and you got prime Joe Montana and prime Tom Brady, and you have the choice if you can pick one.
Yeah,
and you telling me you're going to go with Brady?
Yes, absolutely.
Are you insane?
Yes, and remember, I'm old enough to have seen Joe Montana now, and he was a bad man, and he went to Notre Dame. Go Irish! But all that said, I'm taking Brady, man. Yeah,
there wasn't no one better.
I mean, you can argue that, and I'm not trying to take shots at Montana, but Brady was that dude, man. And we watched this dude come back from 28-3.
Montana didn't have Gronk.
But Brady didn't have Jerry Rice. What are you saying? We can do that. I mean, what are you saying?
He didn't have Gronk.
He didn't have Jerry Rice. What are you saying? You see what I'm saying? Come on, man. Come on now.
Jerry Rice didn't have triple coverage on the line of scrimmage.
Okay. Let's do it this way. That is crazy.
My bad.
Easy
You
go.
willing to talk about Hurts and Lamar?
Yeah.
What, you want to change the subject now?
No. I wasn't changing it. I was reading the comment from Easygoer. He says, as a starter, Tom Brady has never had a losing record at any level, high school, college, NFL, until the very final year with the Bucks going 8-9. And I think they still made the playoffs. But yeah, that is kind of crazy. Damn, that's like 30 years. But anyway, that's wild. But no, listen, nobody is taking shots at Joe Montana here. But I'm saying Brady.
I know nobody's taking shots at Joe Montana.
And here's the other thing, right? So let me answer Edward in the chat. He says, when it comes to the GOAT debate for QBs, no, what did he say? So, Bruce, you are more impressed with Tom Brady winning more championships than Joe Montana being undefeated. So I'm not even going to mention where I think he's trying to go there. But the point is, no, it's not. It's not about winning more championships, Edward. It's not that, right? It's not the only thing. See, you think that everybody is just looking at ring count, and that's not it. Because if you've heard me talk about Brady on this show before, where I'm so impressed with Brady, what do I always say? When I rank guys as players, it's an amalgam of eye test, stats, accomplishments, and winning, right? And both of them have all that. But when you look at the fact that Brady also, and it wasn't just a function of longevity, right? But when you look at the fact that Brady has all the winning, he has the awards, and he's got all the numbers, like, that's real hard to beat, bro. That's real hard to beat. So, I mean, that's what I look at. And again, no shade at Joe Montana. He was great. And he went to Notre Dame. Go Irish. But in all seriousness, Yeah, it has to be
I
Brady
just
for
don't
me.
understand you saying you saw both of them play. Now I can't believe you're taking Tom Brady over Joe Montana.
Yes, I'm taking Tom Brady over Joe Montana.
Based on the eye test alone.
Not alone. No. Based on the numbers, the accomplishments, the awards, the winning, the eye test, you put it all together, I'm taking Brady. Yes. Absolutely. And the fact that he won without elite weapons for the most part. Yes, he had Gronk, but his wide receivers, for the most part, he wasn't winning with.
That's an elite weapon. Gronk equals three receivers all in one.
No, you can't say. No, I disagree with that.
How? How is he not?
How is he's one tight end? He's not three receivers. He's a tight end. He's not three receivers. Stop that.
Like three receivers in the one. You can't.
All right, man. You got it. I mean, if that's how you see it, but no, Steve, he didn't lose his job at Michigan. Who is that? Drew, not Blitz. Drew Henson. He was the star guy. He was the guy when Brady got there. I don't think he lost it to him. Brady was trying to take it from him. Nah, he didn't. Here we go, Steve. Oh boy. All right, but anyway, Laker Nation, go ahead.
But since you can't go a show without talking about Lamar Jackson for some reason.
This was the topic.
I hate that I'm about to say this because I wanted to debate you so bad.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not. I think no. What is the debate here with Hurts and Lamar? Like, what is the question? Like, who's the better quarterback?
No, it's not so much that. It's what happens is now that Jalen Hurts is a champion and a Super Bowl MVP, we will. And this is something that Bruce and I had kind of talked about. This is what you're going to start seeing at some point here because of Lamar's regular season excellence, but not his postseason excellence. You're going to see that comparison happen at some point, right? They're going to say, okay, well, when is Lamar now going to get over this hump? Especially, okay, Jalen Hurts won the chip this year in the Super Bowl MVP, and Josh Allen won the regular season MVP. It's like, okay, Lamar, at what point are you getting over this hump? Like we've been hearing that already, but it's about to get even. That clamor is about to get even louder because Jalen Hurts won the chip.
Well, I'm gonna say this that I don't never, come at these situations as a fan. The fan is gonna say, "Oh, I'm taking Jalen Hurts all day. He just won the Super Bowl." Listen, Jalen Hurts is the same Jalen Hurts from last year. What is the huge difference? He got Saquon, and his defense got better. The same Jalen from last year.
So here's something that people don't take into account with Jalen Hurts, and then I'll let you go. I had another call coming through. Something that people don't take into account with Jalen Hurts is this dude has had 4 OCs in 5 years. Like, that's not an easy thing to deal with. In sports as a quarterback. It's not.
I'm not taking shots at him, but I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Yes, we got to take into account. Jalen Hurts hasn't changed. He's the same Jalen Hurts.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the Eagles are just smart. They just so take the pressure off of him, where he doesn't have to carry the load, which he didn't.
But you can see he's capable of doing it. Like, he showed us he can do that if he needs to.
But Lamar has to carry the load. That's the difference in the two.
Does he have to carry the load? He's got a 1,900 plus yard rusher.
He still, man, even though he still carried the load. You watched the game. The difference is, Jalen made the throws that needed to be done, but he didn't. When we compare elite quarterbacks, it's the ones that carry that load. That's why we're talking about Montana and Brady. He didn't have to. He didn't really have to do much.
No, I think that's disrespectful, man.
He just hit. He did his job. I ain't gonna lie. But come on now.
Yeah, no, I'm
Come
gonna
on now.
disagree with you. But let me
It's fun.
I
But
gotta
come
let
on now.
I gotta
I'm
let
gonna
you
say
go,
this
man. I got a call.
before you try to kick me off the phone, because I know that's the sound of your voice going.
No, I got a call coming. But go ahead.
Man, I'm your first member anyway.
Yeah, I know. But go ahead, make your last
Nah, I ain't
point,
gonna
man.
be disrespectful. I ain't gonna be disrespectful. But come on now. I know you want to give him his flowers and everything. He got the Super Bowl MVP. That's all due. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna put salt on his game.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He did earn it. You know, he got
Mm-hmm.
his first ring. But you got to understand, like you said, the NFC is a little bit easier.
It is.
You back. You understand the NFC was easier. They had the most complete team besides the Lions, and they made it.
Mm-hmm.
Lamar has to go through that gauntlet every year. It's not. I ain't gonna say that he's folding.
Mm-hmm.
He's just with his experience. He's gonna be miles ahead of her, because every year the playoffs is a different animal. They game plan different.
Right.
And the teams in the AFC are a lot better, so they game plan for when they play the Lamar different. They're like, Lamar still does what he got to do, but the game plan's different.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going through that gauntlet. He's going through the Chiefs every year. He's going through the Bills every year. It's always the same four teams that he's going through every year.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna get his. Don't trip. If it ain't next year,
I
it might
do.
be the year after.
No. I believe he will.
He's far ahead of Hurts, but Hurts had a whole lot more support.
That's all right. We're gonna leave it there. I don't agree with that, but we're gonna leave it there.
I mean, they took that defense was enough to do something nobody else did this whole season, was take Mahomes out of the game.
Yeah.
He didn't get his numbers to garbage time. So
Right. All right, man. I appreciate the call. Let me go ahead and take this. I know Bruce was trying to get in, but stick around, man. We're gonna keep it rolling.
All right.
All right,
That's
brother.
why you didn't want me on this. That's why you didn't call me on the show. Boy, you knew it.
Yeah, whatever, man. We'll talk, man. Thanks for the call. Bruce, go ahead, call back, man. I saw you. Go ahead and call back. But yeah, this is oh man. I'm definitely not trying to pit these cats against one another, but we will see and hear it happen. But it was good to see Jalen Hurts win, man, because you like to see guys like that who put the work in, reap the ultimate reward, and hopefully sooner rather than later, Lamar Jackson will hold up that Super Bowl trophy and the Super Bowl MVP as well. So yeah, we'll see. Easy goer. The caller is basically saying Tom Brady, every Tom Brady teammate was Superman. I don't know if he was saying that, but I get your point though. Easy goer. Bruce, what up, man?
How you feeling, man?
Maintain it.
All right, man. Oh,
I'm here.
I'm here. You here?
Yeah.
You clear? I ain't breaking up enough, man. Am I?
Nah, you're clear, man. You're clear.
And Jalen Hurts played a masterful Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts did everything right in the Super Bowl. He made timely passes. He ran when he was supposed to at the right moment. He was calm. He was stoic. He played right in rhythm with the defense.
Mm-hmm.
Even when Saquon was being bottled up, he led the team in rushing.
Yep.
So, hey man, the kid been this is not nothing new to Jalen Hurts. He mentioned the Super Bowl already 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very well. He made that one mistake, but yes, the kid played amazing in the Super Bowl. As far as him comparing to Lamar, like you say, Lamar hasn't gotten it done in the playoffs yet, so I guess that's what's going to be held against him until we get it done, right?
It is because nobody's going to tell you that Jalen Hurts is as good or better than Lamar. Like nobody's going to tell you that. Lamar, I think he's a tier up from Jalen Hurts, But when you don't have the hardware, it's hard to argue. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Hurts is a winner ever since high school, through college, through
Correct.
the NFL. He's a known winner.
Correct.
I remember that game they benched him for Tua.
Mm-hmm. But then remember the following year when Tua was thinking up the SEC title game, Jalen Hurts had to come in and save him.
They had to come in there and save him.
That's right.
He paid him. He's a winner. He's quiet. He's humble.
Mm-hmm.
He's not. He embodies what a quarterback should be.
I agree.
Him and Lamar.
Yeah, no question. I agree. Not getting no argument from me.
Unfortunately, Lamar hasn't won the championship yet.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be against him, but he's not. Jalen Hurts is not better than Lamar Jackson.
No, not at all.
But it's a but. Jalen got the ring and he's been there twice already. So, and yes, the NFC is easier than the NFC is easier than the AFC. But
yes.
Hey, shit. If Eagles just ran through Kansas City like it was nothing.
They did. They sure did.
What does that say about the Eagles running through KC like that? The big juggernaut.
Right.
The Kansas City Invitational. That's what they call the Super Bowl.
That's
in
what
the
they
AFC
call it. Right.
And Taylor Swift and Travis, man, in front of Taylor Swift, they did that like that.
Uh-huh.
I mean, bullies.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jim Carter. I think he got Hall of Fame potential. I see it already. I thought he right. He's giving me one sack.
Yeah, he's a beast. He attracts so much defensive attention. Yeah.
Yes. He's nasty. He like punching. He's dirty. Y'all like give you. He's from that old cloth for real. In Philly, unfortunately for Philly, they all young. They're young up there. So
yeah.
Cooper DeJean, a superstar safety in the making.
He's 22.
Yes. Cooper DeJean, number 33 for Philadelphia. He's starting to make. They got young superstars in the making, man, that they drafted. Go Georgia. I know you're not an SEC guy, so I'm just saying. Wow. Cooper DeJean come out of Iowa, right?
Yep. Big Ten.
So, man, hey, man, that defensive line, man. And one thing I respect about the Phillies, the Eagles organization, they go out and get the guys they need to get. The Eagles been in the mix for the past 5, 7 years. They've been in three Super Bowls the past 7 years.
Yep, and they won 2 of them. Mm-hmm.
Yes, I mean, come on now. The Ravens have been in the Super Bowl for 13 years.
That's right.
It's getting a little long in the tooth.
Yeah, it is. It's coming though. It's coming,
but I mean, goddamn, like, falls like on, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just giving the Eagles their flower as a fan of football.
Right.
They played great. The defensive line played great. I never seen anything like that in the Super Bowl. And the same thing Tampa Bay did to him, though. Same thing.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
If you could get that big push, if your D tackles to get up the middle like that, man, and that is terrible.
Well, remember what was that Super Bowl 34 when Baltimore beat the Giants? Was that 34? They did the same thing. Completely locked them up. Big Goose and McCreary and them defensive line completely dominated. So you've seen it. It's just been a while.
And on the Lamar side, fortunate man. Great game. Hey, made mistakes in the visual like we all saw that cost us, and we also had some redemption, but it didn't finish well. So
came up just short. Yeah.
So hey man, it's growing pains. You know, sometimes it takes the great a decade to get their first ones.
That's true. Yeah. We saw it with John Elway. Yeah, that's right.
So hey, his time is coming. It's just like it's destiny. Like So as far as let's get to this part. I see somebody in the chat saying, I heard you mention it about 2 black brothers in the image. But I seen somebody in the chat said something about Lamar is judged by the way he look, and it has some truth to
it. Yeah. Unfortunately, there is some truth to that.
It really does. It's stereotypes with that. More clean cut and Not saying that I'm not judging no man. Pause,
No. I get what you're saying. Yeah, no, nobody's saying you do. Come on, man.
Guy, nice jawline, Lamar gold, ski mask, more.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. So that's most definitely gonna play a role in it. That's unfortunately that's how society is in today and always has been. I mean, so image most definitely plays a big part in everything in society. Your appearance,
human nature, man, human nature.
Okay, yes. So how do you feel about it?
About what?
What I just said about the image and all that stuff.
So I think that's two different things we're talking about, right? So let me say this. I don't think any of that comes into play when you are, not you being you, but you, general term, are criticizing Lamar for coming up short in the biggest moments, right? I don't think any of that has anything to do with anything. Because as I've always said, part of my personal opinion, I can't speak for everyone. My personal opinion is the reason that Lamar gets the criticism he gets is because everyone knows how incredible he is. And so it's like, damn, like, come on, man. We just want to see that when we need to see it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knows how great he is. We just want to see it at the most important of times. That's my opinion. Now, I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but that's my thought. So I don't think that the how he talks or the appearance comes into play at all in terms of the criticism that he receives. I honestly don't. My opinion is just that if he came up big in those moments, it would all be irrelevant. I really do.
Good point taken.
Yeah.
Good point taken. That's a great perspective. But But I watch, I listen, I watch, I read. That shit most definitely and is like that for some people. But you're right though. You're all right. But some people think that way.
You're right. But what do they say though? They always say, what is it? Winning is the biggest or the best perfume or whatever,
Yes.
So just win. Just win, baby. That's what great Al Davis said. Just win, baby.
Hey, my man. I'll call back on the next topic.
No doubt, man. I appreciate you.
All right, Chant.
All right.